Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Larson. If you've been following this channel for a while, you probably know I'm an architect based in Denmark. But I'm not Danish. I actually moved here in 2015 to study architectural technology. I also moved here because of a boy. And last year, that boy left me. It completely devastated me. It forced me to step back and question everything: my life, my choices, my reasons for staying in Denmark. Honestly, I'd built my life here around that relationship. It was one of the biggest reasons why I'd fought so hard to stay despite all the legal hurdles, cultural differences, and let's be honest, learning Danish is not easy. But here's what I realized: he wasn't my whole world here. I had roots, just not the kind I expected. I've got an amazing community, a fulfilling career, and let's be real, again, I worked way too hard to learn Danish, and I wasn't about to run back to the US and crash in my parents' basement. So, out of the wreckage, I decided to rebuild. I started imagining what it would look like to put down real roots, to own property, and to create something lasting. That's pretty much when I went to the bank and they laughed in my face. Turns out being a foreign entrepreneur doesn't exactly scream ideal mortgage candidate in Denmark. But I'm an architect, so I thought, what if I bought a fixer-upper with cash? And that idea is more or less what led me to the Eskilstrup Community Center. It cost $22,000, and yeah, I could afford it. But the condition? Absolutely terrible.
Where the hell will we start? Wow. So was this a theater?
Yeah, this was, I think this was a theater back then.
This is something that's going to scare a lot of people.
I learned that most people saw this building as a lost cause. Even a well-known Danish environmental journalist said on national TV that it was beyond saving, that maybe, just maybe, if we were lucky, the bricks could be reused. And I thought, somebody has to save this place, somebody who understands how to navigate funding and who genuinely wants to give back to the community. At this point, I started to zoom out and look at Eskilstrup as a town. Eskilstrup is what's known in Denmark as a station town. Back in the day, when the railways expanded across the country, towns like these popped up around train stations. They connected rural areas to the rest of Denmark. And these station towns became lifelines for local economies, gathering points for farmers, workers, and also families. They had a rhythm to them. People coming and going and stories passing through. But like many station towns today, Eskilstrup has quieted down. Fewer trains stop, young people move away, businesses close. And without intentional investment into places where people can gather, the built environment starts to fray. Now, what hasn't frayed here is the social fabric. Eskilstrup is home to a lot of amazing volunteer groups and a lot of local associations. The community itself is very strong, but they don't have a place to be together. If your home is your first space and your job is your second, third spaces are where community actually happens. They're in cafes, libraries, parks, churches, community centers, neutral places where you don't have to buy anything or be anyone specific. You just exist together. They're where you run into people, where conversations start, where older generations and newcomers and kids and creatives can connect. And they matter so much, especially in rural towns like these, because without them, people get isolated. And no matter how charming or affordable a place is, it doesn't feel like home if you don't belong somewhere in it. The Eskilstrup Community Center was a third space. It could be one again and have a new life as a cultural house. Imagine a cozy room for the knitting club, community dinners, after-school art classes, a warm space in winter for those who need it. Not just a building, a shared heartbeat for the town. That's where I needed to sit myself down and ask myself, can I be the one to take this on? Can I do this right? Can I do it justice? Well, if I didn't, someone was going to park camper vans in there until that roof collapsed. And honestly, we cannot have that. So I bought it. And I'm not doing this completely alone. To help make this project a reality, I've launched a brand new Patreon account, specifically to support the restoration of the Eskilstrup Community Center. This project is huge. It's a huge undertaking, and while I'm putting everything I have into it personally, it's really clear to me that I can't do it all without some help.
We just had the place tested for asbestos, and I learned a lot about asbestos and asbestos testing, and crossing my fingers that it's not a terrible result, but even if it is, we can assume that there is asbestos in the house. So we have to design based off of that and do all of our construction based off of that assumption.
So if you believe in preserving local history, supporting community spaces, or you just want to be involved in something a little wild and meaningful, I'd personally love to have you involved. And I can promise you that every contribution, no matter how small, will go directly towards the work. Applying for building permits, fixing the roof, repairing the structure, restoring the soul of this place. And as a patron, you'll get behind-the-scenes updates, early access to project videos, and a front row seat as we bring this building back to life. I hope you'll join me, and let's see what we can build together.